Okay. So. Alright, so Lua, am I right? So what I'm going to be doing as a sort of tutorial, I guess, is I'm going to be refactoring this thing right here, the player input controller, from C++ code into Lua code, at least for the update portion. And I'm just going to be kind of doing that, walking you through how I do it so that you can do it in the future. So to start, we need to tell Lua that the class exists. So we're going to go here into the Lua system in the initialize, and as you can see, there's already a bunch of stuff here. Basically, let's say right here, we want to start with begin class. Well, we need to actually include the file first. What's it called? Come on. There we go. All right. So we're on a begin class. This is like a template function, so you need to input the name of the class here, and then a string for, I guess, also the name. All right. Important to remember, none of these end with a semicolon, except for the very last end class in the series. So yeah, don't put semicolons here. Okay, let's go ahead and put an end class just to kind of. All right. So we need to tell Lua about the properties and functions that Lua is gonna need to use, which isn't gonna be all of it. Usually it's just the private variables, and that's it. These do need actual getter functions to work, though. They can't just access them, unfortunately, so we're going to need to make some getter functions. Let's just declare a few here. Get physics. Also, we're going to need to tell Lua about the input system as well, it seems. Doesn't say it uses one of those. Get input. Get speed. A few of these we're going to need setters as well. You don't need to give Lua a setter every time, only if you want that property to be changeable. Get val drop off. Also, set does not need to be a float, it needs to be a void. These need to take float. And then I'm not sure if this is going to need a disable velocity. Okay. We'll define these later. For now, we want to get the class into Lua, so we'll start with add component, or add property. I'm going to give the name, so pi or physics, and then we're going to need to give it function pointers to the getters and setters, and you can do this just with a ampersand and then the name of the function. So get physics. we do the namespace of the class, player input controller graphics. And if you don't want it to be changeable, you can just give it a getter. You don't need to give it a setter. Add property input. All right. Speed. Get speed. And for this one, we are going to want it modifiable, so we are going to give it a setter. And we're just basically doing this for every property that we want. Why is this? It's probably fine. Oh, there's already a setter here. Okay. So we don't need this one. Don't want to have multiple of the same function. That'd be weird. And then and that should be all we need. This attach physics from parent thing, we're probably going to leave that in C++ since it's it's like an engine thing. Okay, we have the class now. At least this one. We're also going to need to add the input system class in here. So basically, here you just need any class that Lou is going to need. So let's find the input system. Am I blind? There's input. Where is this from? Oh, it's an input. Okay. Let's see what this actually uses first for the input. Check action. Okay, so that's the only thing we're gonna need to actually let the Lua system know about. If the Lua system doesn't need a thing from a class, you don't need to tell it about it. That would be unsafe. Let's include this input. Actually, sorry, this is incorrect. So this needs to be not a begin class. It needs to be an inherit class or derive class. With this, and then the class that it derives, which is component. Nope. Come on, I'm bad at typing, apparently. Okay. Yeah. If it's a derived class, you need to use derived class and not begin class. Whoopsies. Derived class. Is this a driver? No, this is derived. Okay, so we're gonna need base system as well. That's unfortunate, but you know, it's fine. We probably would need all this eventually anyway. So we're just gonna do it now. Let's start with this one. Let's do this first, actually. I don't know if the order of how these are done matters. I don't think it does, but just in case. Okay, so begin class. We're gonna need base system. And if you mostly understand what I'm doing here and don't think you need to continue to watch this, then you could skip ahead. Let's see. I don't know if we'll need any of these. Yeah. So I don't think that we actually need anything in base system. We just need to tell it that it's there so we can derive. That makes my job easier. This we should only need the function check action. So this would be a, instead of add property, it should be, I actually haven't had to use this yet, but add function. And that's just pretty much all it is. Check action takes an std string. Hopefully that won't cause any problems. Okay, that should be all we need of the systems. So now we need to start actually adding stuff to this to get it working. All right. So for this, we're going to base off of how I started doing entity. So basically for each of your scripts on anything you want, you're going to need one of these. So you're going to need to include the Lua system. Oh my god, why am I so bad at typing? There we go. Alright, and this I believe is probably fine to just be private. Protected just makes it easier for if you need to inherit, but if you don't think you'll ever inherit off something, you can put it in private. So you're gonna need an std unique pointer. Oops. Lua bridge. Lua ref. And we'll just call this update func. You can call it whatever you want, based on what it's going to be doing. This, I believe, is just going to be like the update function, and that's pretty much it. Basically what this is a function pointer to a Lua function that we are going to define with another function here called load script. I have this stuff in entity, so you can already like add scripts to entities and call them wherever you want. If you want them in like components or whatever, that's better. Then cool, just add them there. In fact, it's probably better for them to be in components and not in entities, but I'm just going to leave it here for now. It's not a big deal. But yeah, we're going to need a void load script. And this can probably be private, because for most for most cases, you shouldn't need to call to load a script outside of like that component's load function. So I had it public here because I was using it through IMGUI, where I pressed a button to attach a script, so I can tell it when I want it to start using a script. But for the most part, you probably will just want it to be used immediately. Okay, so we have that. It needs a Lua state, which is just the state of the Lua system, essentially. The file name, where the script will be, and a table name, which I will explain here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and entity here. And we're basically just going to be copying this one. You can probably just like leave these here, or I'm probably just going to leave this here so you can copy this to make it easy for you to add this function elsewhere when you need it. Okay, let's go right here, I suppose. Player input controller load, oh boy, load script, do a state, table name, comps. Oops. All right, and yeah, we're pretty much just going to be loading a function, loading a script here, and storing it in that function pointer variable we set earlier. So using namespace LuaBridge just makes it so in a few of the things that we don't have to put LuaBridge : lual if lual do file l script file name equals 0, which means script has opened, which means that does exist, and there's no problems. Then we're going to want a luaref table equals get global l table name. And if the table is a table, did I spell that wrong? Why is it not? Why is that a problem? Oh, this is lowercase. Cool. So if that is a table, then we do one more if table, we'll say update dot is function. You can set this to whatever you want, like that script function name to be called, especially if you're going to have multiple script functions in one component or whatever. You want it to be all done in load script. Basically, you just do this if multiple times to look through the table and find the functions, which again, I'll get to the table in a minute once we make the Lua file itself and whatever. So update func, that pointer we declared earlier equals std make unique, which is honestly, I'm not really sure what these unique pointer stuff is. I just know this is what you're supposed to do. Table update, and then down here we can do an else, which just says std count error can't open script. also you can do it so if maybe they enter like an invalid file name, it'll detach the script. If you want that, you can do update func.reset, or you can just leave it like this. We'll go ahead and put it there, because why not? Because it's here before, and that works, so. Alright, so now we have a load script function. Now we're going to want to start making, we're going to make the Lua file. You just do it like, let's see, player input script dot Lua, and boom. I'm going to compare this to this test.lua I have here. All right, so we're going to, let's first make a table. So tables are Lua's special data type. They're basically just like arrays, kind of, but basically what we're going to need is a thing in a table saying, hey, this is a function, this table element points to a function, so this is the function that you're going to use. So we're going to have the table be called, let's say, player input, and then equals brackets to make it a table. We're going to have update equals function, and we're going to want the player input, which is the first argument, which is the class itself, and then dt. With Lua, you don't need to specify types for variables. It's just names. That can make it kind of hard to read sometimes, I suppose, but whatever. You could just declare the whole function here. I like to do it so the function itself is separate. And also functions, you can't use curly braces because curly braces are for tables. So you just end with the end keyword. It's going to take some getting used to, but, you know, this is just how it works. And for now, let's just make it print something. Hello. Cool. Also, no semicolons. I don't know if it like doesn't work if you use semicolons, but you don't need them. It might not work if you have them, so just don't use them. All right. So technically, now we could just, you know, add the script, and we can have a Lua script that just prints hello. So let's go ahead and do that. Just for funsies, just to show that this is working. Assuming it's working. I sure hope it's working. So let's go in the player input controller. We're going to do load script. We want the file name. So that would be player input script.lua. And we're going to need the Lua state first. I don't actually remember how you get that. Let me check the Lua system. I believe it should be, actually it should just be Lua system get Lua state. Yeah, so you would just do that. Player input script.lua, and then the name of the table, which is player input. And that would be all you need to do to load the script, and then you need somewhere where you call it. So we'll say here an update. We'll just say right here update func. I don't think that's how that works. So let me double check here. Right, like that. So you would call it like, because it is a function pointer, so you do need to reference it. Update func. All right, and then your arguments, which would be this, the object, and the dt that we got from here in the actual C++ update. And that's it. That's how you call a script. And you can put it in a try catch here. Let's actually go ahead and do that. You know, so we don't break anything in case our script, like, it doesn't crash, in case our script is like wrong somehow. So let's go ahead and run this. Theoretically, this should work, and we should just be seeing a bunch of hellos in the console. So let's see if this works. No, what is wrong? Missing call to bound. Okay, I remember what this is. So, right. Okay. Also, yeah, we need to actually define these. That's important. They're not used yet in Lua, but once they are definitely going to need to be defined. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. You can skip ahead if you would like. It's going to be pretty simple stuff that you have probably done before. I'm probably not going to speed during this because it's going to be really simple, and I am expecting you to skip ahead. I just don't want to cut the recording. Input. Why the autofill isn't showing up for player input controller. We don't need to because this already exists, right? Get. I hate typing in this long ass class name every time. Okay. Also, yeah, the error. So the error is because getters literally need to be const for Lua to actually like them. I don't know why this is the error that it throws, but if you have a getter, the function needs to be const. It literally just won't work otherwise. So yeah, cool. So yeah, make sure you have functions for all these getters and setters, and make sure all your getters are const, or else it will cry about it, like it just did there. Let's see if this works now. Okay. This was null pointer. Interesting. Where is this? It's saying this is null pointer? No, I don't think so. Was it? Okay. So I guess the try catch isn't working. So let's add this this if here. Let's look at the console. Okay. So it seems like it is not loading it. PlayerInputScript player input update. What could be the problem here? Let's see if it hits this. It does not. Does it go in here? Does it see that the table is a table? No. Did I put the table name? No, I don't think so. Player input. Let me double check how this is done in Lua. Let's see, there's a button here somewhere. Yeah, so that should be all. Is it even trying to load it? No, what the heck? Okay, so load is probably, I guess, not a good place to put this, because it seems like load is not being called at all. Where's the constructor? Let's put it here, because that's definitely being called. Let's see if that works. Okay. Interesting, but it's not actually running it. Okay, so I set the update function. Let's see. In here, does see it. Okay. We are trying. I'm not seeing a Lua exception. Weird. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, you need to remember to actually call this separate function. So it does seem like it's working. This function here isn't doing anything. So we just need to call this separated function here in this function here. DG. Okay. Now that'll work. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, Lua is constantly printing out hello. So our Lua script is technically working now. Yeah. Okay, wait, why can't I don't know. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Also, funny thing, there's a little side tangent here. Comments is 2 dashes with Lua. Don't ask me why you can't just do that, but you know. Let's comment that out for now. We have our script working now. It is being called. Now we need to start let's start translating this here into the Lua script. So let's also go ahead and put an else here, so that if the script doesn't exist, it'll run the C++ code. So that won't say if it, that won't run if it if the script isn't good. It's just if there isn't a script, then it'll run this. You're probably not going to need this ever. That would basically just be code duplication at this point. I'm just putting it here to not delete this code. When you're writing new code, you're going to run already in a Lua script. This code is still going to be not used, but it should still be counted for code count, so I'm leaving it in here. And just as a, if there ever happens to be a case where this function fails to load, it'll just run it off C++. All right, so let's basically just start converting this code into Lua. Now, I'm not super familiar with Lua yet, so bear with me here. But yeah, we're just gonna start doing this. So yeah, right off the bat, this is a problem. The vec2. Actually, you might, let's just go and try some things. You might be able to use this as a table. Let's do if PlayerInput.phi. I believe if statements are with end. I'm going to pull up a little Lua thing on the side to make sure this works. I believe it's like this. No, I'm incorrect. So it's if .phi, then and then an end. So that's how you do an if here. All right. Give me 1 second. Do something else. Where is that? All right. Okay. So we've got this if. Yeah. So let's go ahead and make velocity equals phi dot get velocity dot x. I believe this should work because we do have physics and a velocity property in there, and then we have a vector helper. This is kind of a weird thing that is very hard to explain, but with just normal structs and like public things, it's like they don't have normal getters and setters, so we need to make a separate struct here with basically that type of, you don't need to worry about this stuff, it's automatically done for you in Lua. But yeah, so we have that, and then we should also just be able to do phi dot velocity dot y, and we should have a velocity table. Let's go ahead and do x equals, I believe this is what we're supposed to do here. Y equals okay. And then we're gonna have a float here, which is temp speed equals player input dot speed. So let's get the speed there. I'm going to go if player input dot disable velocity. I believe that's how it's called here. We're probably going to keep this up to double check how it's named, because it is going to be needed to be named as it is named here. So yes, that is correct. Dot disable velocity. I need to remember it's not like this, like this. All right, if PlayerInput.disable velocity, velocity equals velocity x. I believe this is how you use tables. You access table variables. Let me double check. At least in the form of a dictionary. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this is correct. It might actually be okay. Yeah, I believe we could just do these as tables and then. Okay, so let's do something else here, based on what I'm seeing. So we're gonna have velocity equals just like an empty, just initializing a table, and then we're gonna want velocity x equals phi dot. What was that? It was phi dot velocity. Come on, dot x. Okay. And then velocity y equals phi dot velocity dot y. Okay. That should work. Actually, no, we need these to be, if they're not numbers, they need to be strings. So velocity x, velocity y. Okay. So we have to disable velocity. Velocity x equals 0, and velocity, how did I not finish that? Velocity y also equals 0. And then we want temp speed times equals, so that would probably, I don't believe times equals exists, so I believe it would be just temp speed times 60. 0. Let's do that just to be sure. I don't think we can do that. I'm not sure. Since floats aren't technically a thing. Alright, so we got that if. Let's do here. Bool input. No, not a bool. Input down equals false. Alright. If input dot check action. So this is the input, so actually we need to do player input dot check action left. Then I believe that would be correct. Based on if we have it here. Input, yeah, okay. For input.check action, then checking left, then velocity x, ooh, that's kind of interesting, equals velocity x plus minus temp speed. And then we're going to want input down equals true. And we're kind of copy pasting this. So let's go ahead and do that for backwards, right, and forward. Backward. This one is velocity y is plus equal. And down is true. Down true should be every time. Velocity x plus equal this one, and then this one is, I believe, yes, this is just y with just plus. Okay, so that should be, let me actually make sure these strings are correct. Right, forward, all right, and then we're gonna have let me double check something because we need a not operator, and I don't think, I'm not sure if that exists. Oh, you just type not, it seems like. Okay. So let's do if not input down and not disable velocity, then velocity x equals velocity, ooh, cosine. Interesting. Probably gonna need Lua math. I'm not sure if Lua has a math library. I mean, it probably does. Okay. So it would be velocity x times math.cosine of, does math have a pi? Pi, is m pi over 4? Math.pi. Math.pi over 4. Okay, so that should work. And then seems like it's the same here, but with y and sine instead of cosine. Sine, okay. And I'm going to want an else if here, input down and disable velocity, then wait, did I do that wrong? No, okay, yes I did. This is different. So the math.cosine stuff comes later. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this so I have it later. So this is actually velocity x times player input dot vel drop off. Which again, should probably double check that that's correct. Yep. Okay. And then we have the else if here, which itself has an if velocity x. Now, what's interesting is for comparators, this is not equal. So not equal 0, and velocity y not equal 0. Then we want the math part. Okay. And then after both of these, we want PlayerInput.phi.velocity equals, interesting, that's going to need an address, it seems. Huh. Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure how we would do that. Interesting. So that might be something we need to return, maybe? Or no? So this is all setting, okay. This would just be left here in C++. So the script is this part. Since this would be, oh wait, this is a new, why are they returning a pointer to, this looks like a temporary. Interesting. I'm not sure how to do that, really. What we could do is add another argument to this function. I believe this would work. Velocity. And we would make this here. We have to change all this to dots instead. Okay. So let's go ahead and change all this. And then the script will be between those. Because I don't think Lua would be able to handle pointers. I don't think there's a way to do that. So this is, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this too, because that's the initialization, and we're gonna have temp speed. That's a thing that's just for, you know, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So we need to change all these to .x's instead of the table version, the Lua table version. So let's go around and do that, because now we are going to be passing this in as a vector. .x. I can probably do find and replace, but I am too lazy to go through it and like do all that. So even though, you know, you're like, oh, you're lazy, then do the faster way. No, this is easier. It's not actually, it's just, I don't want to use my brain to go do other things. So I'm just going to do this instead. x. Okay. And we don't want this part. Okay. So theoretically, this should all work now. What we're going to want to do is move this up here. Okay. Leave that. And then we're going to move this outside of the if. So right here. So these parts are done regardless of if it's C++ code or Lua code. And then we're going to want to also pass in velocity as an argument to the function here. And now, theoretically, I believe this should just work. The only thing is I'm not sure if these ifs technically work because, I mean, they probably should be because it should be similar to where, you know, if it's anything but 0. Let's just see. Okay. It does not seem to be working. Okay, bad argument to check action. Input system expected got string. Okay. We do need to okay, I believe for this we would also need to do Lua bridge manual. Lua's weird, so let's see if I can figure this out in the Lua bridge manual. In fact, I'll run you guys through it as well. I'm looking around. This is Lua bridge reference manual. I'm going to go ahead and post a link in that in the server right now, because why not? Because you might need to use this at some point. So let's go ahead and see function member. Okay, so we have an add function. Yeah. Now, how does this get used? I'm not seeing function member proxy. Usually this is supposed to have, I thought this had Lua code, like, to show how that worked. Oh, okay, get it. This is what I was thinking of. Okay, so here, instead of dot, we need a single colon. Right. We're seeing prints. Attempt to index a nil value local velocity. Oh, that's not good. Interesting. So, oh, velocity. I didn't pass it in here. Remember to do that. If you're going to have a function separate from the one in the table, make sure it is called and sets everything. All right. So let's, we're not getting any problems, it seems, but it is not working, and we're getting that. T was whatever. Interesting. So I don't think we can do it like this. I think this if it doesn't work. I believe let's do nil, does not equal nil. Which in Lua, nil is essentially null. I don't know why it's called nil, but yeah. So if physics, and this is disable velocity, which this is a Boolean, so I should be fine. Is there anything else like that? I thought there was another null check. Am I an idiot? If I... No, I think that's it. No, that's not it either. Interesting. I'm not sure what this would be. It's loading the script, and you should be calling the function. Oh, why are these both X? Oh, why are those all X? I don't think that's the problem, though. These seem to be Y's, but I don't think that's the issue. If that... I mean, it is an issue, but I don't think it's the issue, you know? Because this is what, like, a problem, then this also needs to be .y. Why did I only do x's? I don't know. See, .x not equals 0 and .x not equals 0. Why am I stupid? I did it again. Why is literally everywhere I did .x twice? I'm stupid. That's not the problem, though. I know that. Because it's not even like a thing. Let's see. Let's do some print debugging. Let's see if it gets here. We can't use breakpoints, but we can use prints. Hi. Also, nice thing with Lua, again, is you don't need to... Okay. Is it immediately printing? Let's see. Or is it only printing once I start? It's immediately printing. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, you don't need to recompile when you change Lua code. Okay. Interesting. So this keeps returning true, it seems. Which isn't accurate. It's not that it keeps returning true. It keeps passing through the ifs. It's not equal false. I don't think that would do it. No. Weird. Let me look into this a bit. I don't like that it keeps pulling this out because the exception. I don't know what the exception is. It's something's wrong, obviously. It seems to be. It seems to be always evaluating true, at least. Let's put these in other places. Just to see, like, if there's any of these ifs that are ever being false. Okay. So that one, it didn't print. Interesting. It's right here. That one is. Yes, I get it. There's an exception. That one is. That one is as well. Let me just do this so it doesn't keep hitting that exception. Let's see here. That one's not. And that one's not. Okay. So this keeps hitting true somehow. All of these check actions. Was there anything else regarding? What I could do. No, I can't do that. Let me see. Are these? Is this even being called properly? Let's take a look at input for the breakpoint there. Check action. It returns an int, not a boolean. But that should still evaluate true based on what I've read. Okay, well that's not helpful actually. Left. Yes, so it is backward, right, forward. Left, backward, right, forward. Okay, so it is testing them. What is input here? It's 0. So this is returning a 0. That is interesting. Why is that resulting as true? Oh, wait. It's a 0, which is not false or nil. Zeros are considered true in Lua. Okay. I believe that's the problem. So we need to do not equal 0 here. All of these. Not equals 0. Not equals 0. Not equals 0. Okay. Let's go and put a print here. I don't need that anymore. I don't need that either. Okay. No prints. Okay, and then I hit A few times. Hold A for a little bit, and it is printing. Okay. So now we have that part working. Now, the problem Okay. I think I know what it is. I think we do need to press this as a pointer, because if it's a raw class, I don't think it'll be able to use the class functions. So let's pass this as a pointer here. There we go, and look at that. Our Lua, player movement is handled entirely in a Lua script. And let's see if this this stuff still works while we're here. Go ahead and set this to this one version. Yep. I'll see base movement. Yep. Speed. It all still works. And it is all running in Lua. So, there we go. How long has this been? An hour and 10 minutes. That's not too bad, actually. We ran into a few problems. It's working though. We still have an exception. That's a problem. Not sure how to fix that. Doing Lua unref. Actually, I might, hold on. Let's look around for a bit. I don't want to mess around with this too much. I think there's a time where you need to get rid of this. I'm not sure. We have the load script, and it's just a Lua ref table. Does this here? Update func release. So yes. So one last thing. Back in the player input controller, where's the CPP? It's over here. In the destructor, properly, if there's no destructor, load wasn't getting called, so I don't trust unload to be getting called. Let's just go ahead and make a destructor. No one's gonna get mad at me for making a destructor. So we're gonna make that just because I know that will work. And that's a good place to put it. Player input controller. Player input controller. And we're going to want to call update func.release. So yeah. So I believe this is because this is I think this is the nature of a unique pointer that is like dynamically allocated and whatnot. So you do need to release it. So let's see if this works now. Control's fine. And exits with no errors. Alright. So there we go. We did this. I hope this video was helpful. I hope OBS wasn't recording the music that I had playing. Because that would make my voice kind of hard to hear. But yeah, a little bit long. Hopefully you didn't get bored. Hopefully this was helpful. And this just shows kind of how powerful this is, that you can turn this into this. And I mean, let's be real, it doesn't look the best. When you're comparing it to C++ and when you're used to C++, like this isn't great, but it's gonna be very nice because you don't have to recompile. Watch, like I could just change this to, I could change anything in here. I could, like, I uncomment this print. I don't need to recompile because everything is done at runtime. For Lua, so that's going to be the biggest help here. And then also Lua is super designer friendly. But yeah, I hope this is helpful. I hope this allows you guys to be able to use Lua in your gameplay. For the first few weeks, I don't deny that it's going to kind of suck. It was definitely a little bit of a challenge here today, getting this working, not being familiar with Lua and whatnot, but I believe this will be greatly beneficial for the team moving forward. But yeah, thank you for attending the one and only lecture of CS118 Lua integration for C++ that DigiPen will ever have. Make sure you do your homework. No. But yeah, hope this was helpful. For now, I'm just going to give out the video. I'm going to post this on YouTube and then obviously send out a link. Probably in the next few days, I will write up a document of more of a visual guide alongside Lua Bridge, the Lua Bridge documentation. That stuff's great. But probably, summarizing this stuff into text and not going through all the debugging process. But this was just a raw look at how you do this. But yeah, thanks for coming to the lecture. I'll see you guys later.